Hey, what's going on everyone? Kenan here, and I am done with the front yard, or the radiated tortoise enclosure. It has been dialed in. We've got bushes planted. That's what I've been doing all morning. We've got more of the muley grass and the Waxahachie grasses. I've planted them around here. This will create more areas for tortoises to hide and hang out. While I was doing that, while I was planting all these grasses, this little girl decided she wanted to lay eggs, so we'll check up on her in a little bit. We've also extended, like I promised I had to do, we've extended the fence. It's a little bit higher now. We use this 1.5 vinyl coated wire, some spare fence posts that I've had, and I went around the entire front and I raised up the barrier because we've had a tortoise that's been a naughty girl. We're gonna go get her right now. We're gonna go get Cersei. Cersei actually decided to fly the coop. I found her right over there actually. She thought that the grass was in fact greener on the other side because there's no grass on her side. So she climbed over, started nibbling on some of the weeds in the driveway, and I had to move her out because we don't want to lose an Aldabra, do we? We don't lose anybody. So I took the time, extended the height of that fence, and now we are going to go get her and put her back in her rightful place. I got a little something in my eye. Okay, we got it. Hey, by the way, look at Lulu. There she is. Lulu. Hi, Lulu. She's doing good. She's sunbathing right now, just hanging out in her enclosure. The Argus monitors are doing well. Inky's doing well. We're going to wander on in here. Let's see. Wander. I like wandering. There are the Chinese box turtles. We're going to leave this unlatched so that I can easily escape. There is everyone's favorite female Cuban iguana, Lola, and her boyfriend, Senor Huapo. Very cool. We've got the little tiny itty bitties, the little, what are they called again? I believe those are redfoot tortoises. And yeah, just everyone's walking around, chilling out, doing their thing. I'm loving it in here. Oh, and by the way, look at this. You want to see the most daintiest creature on earth? How about this little redfoot that I found in the redfoot enclosure? I just placed him in here. This is a tiny little baby. So I figured, hey man, you hatched outside, you're doing all right. I can keep an eye on him in here. And so far so good. He's been in here about 4 days. And this little dude hatched out in the ground. Oops, sorry, little one. See, so he's got a little bit of the what they call scud, and as long as it's not ulcerative, it's fine. It's just from him being outside. Tortoises will get that. But yeah, just a little tiny dude. Look at this. Look at the size difference. Isn't that amazing? So whenever I walk in here, I'm of course extremely careful not to smush the little babies. So yeah, I always watch where I walk, and no one else really comes in here. Now, here are the blue iguanas. Oh yeah, you're nuts. You see that bite? They are hungry. They're getting fed later. But they're a little mental, but they're pretty. Look how pretty that guy is. God, he's beautiful. And how about that lady? She laid eggs. Oh, she's running. But we're really in here for one female, and that is Cersei. Hey, Cersei, you're coming back, baby. Let me see if I can still get you with one hand. You're kind of growing. She's a big dudette. Let's get her. I'm gonna go two hands. Oh, and then I'm gonna baby cradle her. Oh yeah, I still got her, but she's heavy. Whew, that's a big lady. She's going to be even bigger, and hopefully she'll be really happy to hang out with Nostradamus in the future. Let me just, this is kind of hard work. This turtle farm and video stuff, it can be labor intensive, but I'm really excited to get her back out in the enclosure because I like seeing her out front. I like her with other tortoises. I think she's you know, much happier. I'm gonna have to put her down. Here, love. Here, love. She'll probably start going right to town on those weeds. So let's shut the door. Get this latched up nicely. There she is. What a beaut, huh? That's pretty nice stuff, isn't it, Cersei? Cersei is, of course, an Aldabra tortoise that I got from Sam Pascucci. He gave me an amazing deal on her. Look at her. Is she eating already? Is she eating that grass already? She is something else. Yeah, so I got her from Sam. He just has the most beautiful Aldabra tortoises, and he's always been such a good friend, and he wanted me to have a female, so you know, he sent her home with me on a layaway plan, which was very, very generous of him. So she's been doing well. I love that I have another Aldabra tortoise, but we have news. I may have mentioned it in a previous video, but we are getting 2 more Aldabra tortoises, about a 30-pounder and a 15-pounder, that are going to become pals with the Cersei, and they'll be living out front as well with the radiated tortoises. So pretty excited about that. That's happening in just about a couple weeks time before I get them, and I'm really happy about that. So you'll be sure to check up back to the camp and the videos to see just what I'm going to be doing with those tortoises and how I'm going to be receiving them. They're coming from Texas, man. So very good stuff. Anyhow, here is Cersei. She's looking good, and she's loving all that greenery. They will go through grass like this and just spend all day in like a 4x4 area if there's enough grass. She's just such the prettiest tortoise, and I love the Aldabras. I think they have great personalities, although they are quite shy in the very beginning when they're young. Oh, I know. Okay, gotta lift with the legs, people. Very important. So anyway, we're gonna bring her on over here, get her back with her buddies, the radiated tortoises. She won't be climbing out anytime soon. Now, of course, if she was full grown, she'd have to go into a structure or into a enclosure with a fence built out of cement or heavy duty wood, farm fencing or something like that. But right now, this fence is going to be way strong enough for this young lady. So let's go ahead. Look at this too, saying hello. The tortoise is laying the eggs or digging the nest. Everyone's saying hello to her, but they're going to have to come right back and say hello to our lady, Cersei. All right, Cersei, you're back in here, kid. We've made some changes. We've made some changes for you, lady. Beauty, you gorgeous thing, you. Boy, is her shell nice and round. That is one rumpus. Yeah, check it out. She's looking good, man. So as you can see, she's calmed down quite a bit. She doesn't freak out as much as she used to when I picked her up or got near her. She's actually much more, I would say, acclimated to me. And that's one of the greatest things about the Aldabra tortoise, is I do believe they calm down and they make an amazing companion, or for you to be a steward of these animals. They really do respond to their keepers, and it really makes me happy. I love interacting with these animals. And, you know, if you were watching the time lapse, you know, as I'm going ahead and I'm filling in all these, planting in all these plants, man, I'll tell you, you know, the tortoises just kind of want to see what I'm up to. You know, they're very curious animals, and these two are saying hello to each other as well. Those two are eating some cactus. I am sitting on my butt, which I think I deserve as I yammer. Yeah, why not? And yeah, they're all waking up right now. It's about, the time we're filming this is about 11:30 in the morning. So the temps, even though they were cool this morning, they're starting to rise. We're in the low 80s right now, and that gets the reptilian blood flowing. So this is like a really great hour for them to come out during the fall. And we definitely have our fall temps, and I'm gonna be doing some retrofitting of the enclosures, getting ready for the winter time, which is very important. But you see all that sun? Plenty of sun, plenty of shade. This is what reptiles need, especially tortoises. You want them to be able to move in and out of these different microclimates to heat their bodies and keep them going. Now let's see what she does. Is she gonna go over and eat the grasses? I don't think so, because she's never paid attention to those mature grasses, but let's see. Nope, she's wandering. Now these tortoises are smart. Tortoises are creatures of habit, and in their enclosure, they have pretty good memory. They've got to remember where food is. They've got to remember where the water is. They even remember how they used to get out of the enclosure. And if you look, this was low, and she's getting taller. And she just hit it into four-wheel drive and just went whoop, 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 right over these areas. So I made sure this was not going to happen right now. So very good stuff. We got a delivery. I love deliveries. Very awesome. So awesome things happening all day long here. Let's go see Nostradamus and see just how this guy's doing. I want to show you, of course, if you're just joining us, what these animals turn into. So good times are about to... hey, look, and I didn't have to go far. Hello, Nazi. How you doing? So can you imagine if we have an amazing group of these beautiful animals. And then this will be the patriarch. It'll be Nostradamus. He is in fact a male. I have seen, he showed me a long time ago, he showed me, and it's not normally something you can tell when they're much smaller than this. They need to be about 200 pounds before you can really make the ID whether he's a boy or a girl. And he's just about 200 pounds, and I'm able to see, I love him. He's amazing. You see how he just kind of hangs out with me. The giant tortoises are truly a wonder of the animal world. They are just incredible. These guys come from the island of Aldabra. It's actually more of an atoll, which is basically just a group of basic coral reefs that have been exposed and stay exposed. They aren't much of an island, not like the Galapagos Islands, which were created by volcanic activity. So the Aldabra tortoises, these animals are incredibly hardy. There's not a lot of fresh water on their island. They're able to make use of all kinds of rainwater from this nose. They're able to get it into a crevice, and they can pull water in and then get it into their mouth. So very, very good stuff. Very good adaptations for such an incredible animal. And here, of course, is Socrates, the Galapagos tortoise. But I do, in fact, love Nostradamus. And I love the Aldabras. They're a little bit more common than Galapagos tortoise in captivity, but they are no less interesting. And their sizes can be just immense. So, but you can see as I'm talking to you guys, I just get to hang out. Isn't that amazing? Just talking and hanging out with this animal. He allows me to just give him a little rub on his neck. And I think they like this because in the wild there are all kinds of birds that'll come down and pick ectoparasites off of them. So very good stuff. They enjoy this kind of scratch. And I gotta think it feels good just to get a scratch, don't you? I like when my wife, I said my life, which she is, my wifey life, she likes to rub my head at night and I just fall asleep. It's nice. It's a trance-inducing activity. All right, buddy. I love you, man. Little nervous. Sorry, buddy. Let's go back over and see our lady and what she's doing. Where is she at? Oh, look, here she is. By this bromeliad, having a little nibble, trying things out, checking it all out. But this is what I like. I like the enrichment. You know, people think tortoises are boring animals. They are not. They move around. They explore. They taste things. They climb. They do. Look at this. They do all kinds of things just to figure out whether or not something is edible, whether or not they want to eat it or hang out under it. They're obviously doing other things like these radiated tortoises, and one of them is still digging out a nest. I don't know if she'll finish this by the end of the video, but you know what's cool is we're documenting everything. There's always something happening, and what was neat is as I was digging, she was looking for a cool place to lay, and I think as I was exposing the sand, she was excited because she's like, hey, are you gonna help me dig this nest? It's a lot of work with these back legs, you see. But she's been doing it now for the better part of an hour, and I think she's making amazing progress. A flask shaped nest, really sculpted out there nicely, and it's almost big enough for her to deposit 2 to 5 eggs. So that's what you usually can expect from a radiated tortoise. And then I have to, of course, dig them up, put them into diapause, where I put them in a wine cooler at about 55 degrees for 1 month, bring them out of diapause and put them into the incubator where it's about 82, 83 degrees, and then, only then will development begin. So really interesting stuff with this species. And there are a few turtle species and tortoise species that have a diapause, which means a stop, a pause in the development of the embryo and the eggs. It can take place in the beginning, or it can take place halfway through incubation. Depends on the species. Really interesting stuff. And we think this is because in the wild, these animals go through hot and cold times of the year. They go through dry and wet times of the year. So with the diapause, when this environmental trigger happens, it allows the embryo to start to develop so that when it hatches at the absolute best time to try or to ensure the survival of the babies, which, as we know with tortoises, not very good. Most little baby tortoises and turtles get eaten in the first 24 hours of hatching. But there you have it, everybody. I am done with the front yard. All that's now left is to watch this grow, and you'll be watching it. It'll create really nice habitat for these guys to hide in, lay eggs near. They like laying their eggs near something solid like a plant or a rock or a fence. So really excited. And I always appreciate you guys hanging out with me and taking the time out of your busy day to see what me, a total knucklehead, is doing in his front yard. I hope you learned something today. I always learn something every day, like, oh, I don't know, that I love turtles every day, but I think I already knew that. All right, everyone, thanks so much. I think the front yard is looking good with the mulch and the ponds and the fence and the plants, and more importantly, the most important aspect and ingredient are the tortoises living here. I don't like just a pretty yard. I want a yard that wildlife can survive in. All right, everyone, thanks so much. Don't forget, like and subscribe. See you again real soon. Mwah.